Is it time to sell our premium defensive assets? It's certainly been a week where 5 at the back looks about as helpful as a chocolate teapot. Hi guys, I'm Nymfria and welcome back to the home of FPL videos. Thanks for all of the love on my last video. These quick turnarounds are tough for us content creators, so thank you for sticking with me. Anyways, as always, let's take a look at how I got on in Game Week 15 before looking ahead to my team selection for Game Week 16. Sanchez didn't manage a clean sheet again this game week, but he did make up for it a tiny bit by making 3 saves for an extra point and managed 3 points towards my team total. My defence was an absolute mess this week. Gone are the days of feeling secure with premium defenders. Trent was the only one who managed a clean sheet and earned himself some bonus points to boot for a tasty 9 points towards my points total. But other than that, I don't know what else to say. City conceded a pointless goal. Chelsea fell to pieces in defence. I think it's what I was saying last week in my last video. They just got too comfortable pushing forward, and then when someone catches them out, they're just not sure how to rectify it, and it just all turns to mush. Little something that needs to be worked on there, I think, in the Chelsea defence. But it also means that James, who I've had for a couple of weeks now, has yet to return for me since buying him, and I'm already wobbling on keeping 2 Chelsea defenders. It's tough times right now. Livramento was in and I was excited to finally be playing him again. Heartbreak in the 98th minute. Clean sheet wipeout. Gone just like that. That's 2 weeks in a row now I've lost a clean sheet in the dying minutes, and I tell you what, it's not fun at all. Has me itching to move back to my comfort zone of 3-4-3 formation as soon as I possibly can. In midfield, Jota the birthday boy missed an absolute sitter for just 3 points. It was a sunny Sunday for me though, as Son repaid my faith for a second week in a row with holding him all these weeks. He finally got me a mini haul against Norwich with a goal and an assist. I love you, Sonny. Thank you very much. But Foden, oh Foden. The absolute agony with this guy is real. I held him through his injury. I held despite Pep saying he was unsure he was even going to start him. I didn't bend. I didn't bend to the lure that has been Bernardo Silva for the last 3 weeks now, and it's absolutely done me in. It was looking so great when Foden got that assist for 7 points towards my team total, but then Bernardo wasn't going to be outdone by him and tucked away 2 goals. Hey, I tip my hat to those that switched to him a few weeks ago when Foden got injured, and I can't tell you how much better off I would be now if I had done the same, because, well, I'm not going to look because I don't want to know, it'll hurt way too much. The only plus is that Foden was in acres of space on a number of occasions, and no one even looked at him where he just would have been in on goal and potentially managed to get small points for us. He hit the post. And while Grealish missed a few chances that Foden set up for him that would have been a Foden assist, so he could have got many more points, and that's the one little bit that I'm holding on to right now. Lastly, Salah is my captain, chipping in with an assist. I just couldn't be brave enough to go Son with the armband, but he put on a show as my vice captain. Nonetheless, Salah is ticking away and happy enough to bank his points. Up front, I chose to play Tony as my sole striker and bench Antonio against Chelsea. There were goals for Brentford, but unfortunately Tony wasn't amongst them as he couldn't be involved due to testing positive. So that means I'll get Antonio's points off of the bench anyways. One of the few times I've actually got some bench points off of the bench this season. It's a really nice feeling actually. Antonio could have had much more though, so I'm quite lucky getting these points, but I'll happily take the 5 points and run at this point. I'm recording this on Monday afternoon as I don't have anyone in the Monday evening matches, so I'm on 57 points when Antonio's points come in, and at the moment a small green arrow that sees me sitting at around 176,703. Of course, Ramsdale, White, Emile Smith-Rowe if he starts, and Gray are all players that may affect that rank. We'll keep you guys updated in my next video as always. As for doing any better, I only used 1 transfer for Game Week 15 to move Mbeumo to Gilmore to free up cash. As on last week's video, I was aiming for Kane for Norwich, but I went off of that after Kane's recent form. Then after midweek, I did consider doing the same moves but getting in Ronaldo instead. But then I went off of that based on what happened, so I just thought, sell in Buemo and get some cash, think on future moves after Game Week 15, rather hilariously, and Buemo, after keeping all these weeks and me playing him almost every week, hoping for a return, gets put up front as soon as I sell him and gets an assist. But what can you do? He would have been second on my bench this week anyway. My 3 top scorers this week were Santa's come early with a Sunny Hall for 13 points. Salah is the star at the top of my tree anyway as my captain with 12 points, and Trent twinkled with 9 points. Okay, moving on to Game Week 16, and this is how I'm currently lining up. Now I have 2 free transfers and a lot of directions I can go in. Players I'm currently considering are Ronaldo, De Gea, Bernardo Silva, Bowen, and one of the Watford forwards and Emile Smith-Rowe, so a bit of a list there. As I said, I'm recording this on Monday afternoon, and I have heard that Emile Smith-Rowe is facing a late fitness test for tonight's match, so it may all depend on that as to whether he becomes a consideration this week. So my original plan was to do Tony to Ronaldo, Son to Emile Smith-Rowe, and find the 0.3 that I would need by either selling Foden to Bernardo Silva or Livramento to a cheap 4 mil sub-defender. Was looking at Johnson, but I'm not sure about that injury, so Manquillo or Williams possibly. But then Ronaldo blanked this week, and Sonny got me rethinking on whether I want to sell him after his little haul. Now I know it was only Norwich, so I'm unsure what to make of it yet. But he faces a Brighton side up next with some serious defensive issues, and Sonny has a nice stretch of fixtures over Christmas as well. I don't currently see how I can get Ronaldo without selling Son, and without being sure about selling Son, it may well be worth me waiting another week or so on him, meaning it could be worth me just doing 1 transfer again this week, selling Tony as he'll have to isolate now for one of the Watford lads, and rolling again until I have more info. This would also allow me another look on Foden and if he's a keep long term, or if to move to say somebody like Bernardo Silva, Bowen or Emile Smith-Rowe, or even a United midfielder could end up looking like a better replacement for him. My other alternatives are to move Sanchez to David De Gea. I don't really rate David De Gea, if I'm honest. I have a bit of a bias on disliking him as a potential FPL asset, but his fixtures are really tasty, and the new manager has hinted at tightening up at the back, so he could be a real option, especially with Brighton and these defensive issues and their fixtures being a little bit iffy. So De Gea could be a bit of an option. It's more, I think, of a watch list option at the moment, but you never know what will happen before the weekend. I also could afford to do Bowen or Emile Smith-Rowe for Gilmour if I get a Watford forward. It's using both transfers this game week, which I'm not keen to do at the moment just because I'm unsure about those other positions and whether I want Ronaldo and things like that. But I'll see how midweek plays out before deciding on that. I don't feel too bothered in having done Gilmour last game week and then having to move him straight on, as it didn't cost me anything in cash and it didn't cost me anything in transfers, as I'd have just been throwing a transfer away anyway. Lots to think on here. Please do let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I always appreciate hearing from you. Many directions I can go in, as I said, this game week, so let me know what you guys would do in my situation. Captaincy is on Salah. Villa have looked better under Gerrard, so it could be a tad tougher for Salah, but as I said last week, I'm trying to get my money's worth out of him before he goes off to the African Cup of Nations. And lastly, moving on to the trending transfers this week, using Fantasy Football Fix data, I'll delve into the trending transfers ahead of next game week 16 so you can see who's likely to rise and drop in price, as well as gauging the early bandwagons at the time we're recording this. So let's take a look at the players in and out ahead of game week 16. Of the goalkeepers, Ramsdale is still the trendiest goalkeeper in ahead of game week 16 with 37,000 plus purchases. De Gea is the next trendiest in with 26 plus thousand buys. Mendy is the most transferred out goalkeeper with over 28,000 sales, and the injured McCarthy is the next highest out due to injury with 26 plus thousand managers getting rid of the Southampton man at the time of recording this. Of the defenders, Duffy is leading the way for sales out this week due to injury with over 90,000 managers jumping off of the Brighton man. Creswell is the second most transferred out because of missing out in game week 14 and 15 with 35 plus thousand sales. Regulin is the trendiest defender in ahead of Gameweek 16 with 54,000 plus purchases. James is the second highest defender in despite a dip in form with over 51,000 purchases. In midfield, Bilver is the trendiest midfielder in after his brace in Gameweek 15 with over 324 plus thousand purchases. Mount is the next trendiest in this game week with around 113,000 buys. Gallagher is the trendiest midfielder out surprisingly with 97 plus thousand FPL managers moving on the Crystal Palace midfielder. Rafinha, again rather surprisingly at the time of recording this, is the second most switched out midfielder this week due to a turn in fixtures with over 97 plus thousand sales. Up front, Tony is the trendiest forward out so far because of illness with 78 plus thousand managers moving on the Brentford forward. St Maximum is the second most transferred out forward with over 77,000 sales. Dennis is the trendiest forward in this week with over 262,000 buys. And Antonio is the second trendiest forward in after his assist with over 61,000 purchases. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope Game Week 16 is really good to you. Before you go, please check out the sponsors of this video, fantasyfootballfix.com. And yet again, if you'd like to help me reach 7,000 subscribers, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Do all those wonderful things. Until next time, Nymfria out.